Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. Today I'm going to try to make my own yeast. Not sourdough, but make my own yeast. I have a recipe for it. Now, it does state point blank, you can never use kiwi, pineapple, or papaya because they contain a protein degrading enzyme, which will break down the dough. So we cannot use those. But a good one to use, which I know a lot of people always have, are raisins in the house. Okay, so we're going to use raisins. I'm using a pint canning jar. Now, because it's cold, I don't know how long this is going to take. It might take longer. Hold on a minute. It might take longer than I think. I'm drying them off right now just to let you know. All right, so we're going to put in 1/4 of a cup of raisins into a pint jar. I'll turn you down so you can see what I'm doing. Well, I know everybody's getting ready for the new year. So this will be like regular yeast, except you won't have to buy it in the store, which actually makes it easier. It's not a sourdough. No way. All right. So we're going to add 1/4 of a cup of these raisins into a pint jar. I do like raisins too. All right. You're going to need 2 tablespoons of sugar. Put it in with your raisins right into the jar. Now what we have to wait for is for the water to boil. Now the reason this works is they contain a high sugar content, all right? And that naturally contains yeast, which is a living celled fungi organism. So once we do this, we're reintroducing the water and sugar, or you could add honey if you want instead of sugar, for the yeast to consume. The fermentation should begin. Now we have to, I say it is, fermentation is the conversion of sugar into alcohol and to gas. And in baking, the alcohol evaporates and the gas helps bread to rise. Now once we get this made, this is my second attempt. The first one failed. All right, I'm going to be honest with you, it failed. So that's what we're going to do. Now, once we get the yeast going, you can keep it in the refrigerator for approximately 2 weeks, maybe 3. And they say for every loaf of bread you make, you only use 1/2 cup of this. So we're going to see how this works. I don't know. All right, now I brought it to a boil. Well, they want a rolling boil, so that's a pretty high boil. And then what we're going to have to do, okay, now you're doing it. I can turn it off. Fine, we're all right. We have to let that water cool to lukewarm, which is about body temperature, which we're talking about. And then what you're going to do is you're going to fill the water up to just about, I guess, let me see, how long do they want it? How high? A 1-inch headspace. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to secure the lid, do it tight, and we're going to shake this up so we dissolve the sugar and we get everything going. The water's too hot, but boiling is what we're doing is we're sterilizing the water now, so it won't have anything in it, so it'll be able to work for what we want to do. So now we just have to wait for the water, which might be 5 minutes. And there's nothing more I can do. But that's what we're going to do. And you're going to put it, keep it out of direct sunlight. So I'm trying to find a nice warm place I can put it so I might keep it over here because I use the oven a lot. And it says it'll take about 7 days. Now, these are ways of doing things where you don't have to buy it in the store. And if you're ever anywhere, at least you will know how to do it. Good morning. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So I don't know if it's going to work. This is my second attempt. Like I told you, I did mess up. But as soon as that water gets lukewarm, which is body temperature or just a little warmer than that, you fill it up to an inch headspace. And when they say headspace, they mean from here down should be 1 inch. Screw the lid on tight, and then you sit there and shake it till the sugar dissolves. Loosen it a bit because it's going to build up gas. And put it in a warm, dark place. I had it in one place, but it was so cold it didn't work, so I have to go somewhere else. Once we do that, and in 7 days, I am doing quite well, sir. So that's what we're going to do. They said it'll take 7 days. It might take a little longer, but we're sort of going to play with this. So you've got like a 5-minute break while I go and do other things. I do not know how to pause a live, so you have to wait. I'm going to have to wait as well. Okay, so that's all we can do right now. But if this works, I won't have to buy yeast anymore, and then I can make it just like this, and I won't have to worry. Thank you for subscribing, Eddie Elliott M812F. Okay? So that's all we have to do. And then after that, we can make sourdough bread, or we can make a regular yeast, and you can just bypass it in the store and actually do a lot better and be a lot healthier. You won't be one microbe that you need. You'll have everything you need to get your yeast going. Okay? So take 5, as they say. Remember, you don't want to add boiling water and kill it. That's the one thing you don't want to do. People are coming on. Okay, they're probably going to say, "What are you doing?" Let's see. And hello, everybody. Who, me? Good God, no. What a question. No. No, 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 no. So that answer of no is to you, John Perrella 6637. See, by us learning all these things, we can actually see how women did things in the past, that if we ever get in a situation where we have to, we'll be able to function. That's why I'm so glad I learned from so many different generations of people to help me. This water is taking longer. Today, I'm actually trying to make my own yeast. I showed you how to make a sourdough culture. All right, now we're just trying to make yeast. I have a recipe, and that's what I'm doing. They said you need 1/4 of a cup of raisins. I'm using a pint jar to let you know. You put 2 tablespoons of sugar in it and 1/4 of a cup of raisins. They say this is excellent for making your own yeast, which I want to do. They said it takes 7 days, and they say once it ferments and stuff, so we'll see how this is going. And okay, I'll leave the idiots alone. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to make this, and then I'm going to try to make bread with it, because they say you use 1/2 cup of this at a time. So I'm really anticipating making my own yeast. Then I won't have to buy any at the store. I'll have my sourdough culture, and I will have my own yeast. And the yeast, they say, lasts in the once you get it going, it lasts for 2 weeks. So that's what I'm trying to do. Women used to make their own yeast, and you probably say, how did they do it? If they made sourdough, they also could make regular yeast. All of these skills we have lost, and it's about time we gain them back. If anything happens, we're going to need them so we can feed our family and stuff. So why not learn? Yes, I'm going to have a good day. Okay, I'm going to stick my finger in this hot water and see. Shoot! This is going to take longer than I think. Okay, I'll bring you up to this. I might have to stop because I'm going to burn myself by the time this cools. Number 1, you need boiling water. The reason you boil the water is we're sterilizing the water. You need a pint jar. You're going to put 1/4 of a cup of raisins in it. I'm using dark raisins and 2 tablespoons of sugar. Now, they have an enzyme that will activate yeast, and this is what we're trying to do to make our own yeast. And if this works, we should have yeast in about 7 days. They also say keep it out of the dark. Well, I'm going to have to throw towels all over mine to keep it in the dark for 7 days. So when I get the water tepid or lukewarm, in other words, body temperature, you're going to pour the water into the jar from leave a 1-inch headspace. That means from the top to where the water level is. And then you put the lid on and you shake it like crazy till the sugar is completely dissolved. Then you loosen that cap a bit because there's going to be gas building up in this. And it's like doing yogurt. You know, you can't just leave that lid on tight because it's going to build gas, and well, anyway, you'll have a mess. Let's not talk about the mess that you'll have from it. So we're going to be doing this the same way, except I'm going to loosen the lid, but I'm going to put towels all over this and hope that I can do this. And this is where we're at, but the water is going to take too long for this to happen. So that's what we're making. We're trying to make our own yeast. I tried it once. I put it in a spot, but it must have been too cold or whatever. It didn't take, so I'm trying it again. I am doing very well. Thank you. It's a pond fly. I have a little mark there, that little earring. So I don't know. That's what we're waiting for. I have everything here. I have my water in my pot here. It can't go cold when you put it in, but if you put it in hot, you're going to kill the enzyme that we're trying to activate to get the yeast. This is why this has to be lukewarm. You cannot use cold water either. And you can't take it directly from the faucet. If you say, well, I will use the hot and cold water and get lukewarm from the faucet, you can't, because the heating units have sediments in them. That's why you never drink hot water from the tab. It'll affect your liver. You can imagine what it'll do with the yeast. It will kill it. And that's what we don't want to do. See, you're not far from me. I'm in New York, so you're like that away. Wait a minute. If I'm north, sun rises south. No. Nope, sorry, you're that away. If I go that way, I'll find you. Hello. Tacos is a dish from Mexico. It's a fried corn tortilla in a U shape. You take ground meat and you add seasonings to it. And then you get that cooked, put to the side, grater, cheddar cheese, and then you sit there. My father liked jalapenos, so he puts in a slice of it. Okay, and you also chop up some lettuce and you chop up some tomatoes. And what you do is when you're done frying the tacos in a U shape, make sure they're drained. And then when they cool a bit, you sit there, you add the meat into it, then you add the lettuce, then the tomatoes. And my father would use jalapenos. He'd put them in there, jalapeno peppers, thin slivers of them, and then the cheddar cheese on top of it, and you eat them. That's what tacos are. Well, that's what it is. This is a cooking channel. That's what we're trying to make yeast right now. We just have to wait for this. So, as I was telling you, do not use the hot water to drink or to make anything with from the faucet, because there are sediments in your heating unit and it will affect your liver in time. So it's not healthy, and it will kill this as well. And so if you wish to learn to cook, Crypt Blue 973, join. All right. So that's what we're waiting for. Nothing else I can do. So we'll see how this is next week. Blue. No, you can't. Crypt Blue 973. All right. So I know I'm telling everybody take 5. We're trying to get this cool. God, that's hot. This is the part that I hate about cooking. I have to wait, but I wanted to show you how to do this. And this is just waiting for hot water. I guess you could take another 5 and we'll see. And I'm going to try stirring this and putting this mother down. Okay. Sometimes this will help cool it down. It's the water we're waiting for. Okay, Mickey 7E9S. Don't worry, it'll be on the channel. This is just live, but I'm just trying to get my water cold enough where I can do it. And I had to sterilize, and then I'd add cold water to this. Believe you me, I would cheat. That's what I do. If I can get away with it. But this I can't, because I need the sterile water. So I hope all of you had a Merry Christmas. Oh, the best kind of donut. Let's see, vinegar. No, apple cider. My girlfriend introduced that to me. The computer was asking me, what's the best donut? Apple cider. I had never heard of apple cider. She introduced me to it, and I said, where'd this recipe come from? I have a lot of cookbooks. Then head to bed, Mickey, and good night. Buenos dias. What country would be at nighttime now? That'd have to be over in Europe somewhere, or Africa, I think. Yeah, it's getting there. As I stir water till then. Oh, I know all of you are saying, can I take another 5-minute break? Go right ahead. But do remember to keep it in the dark. It's going to take 7 days. So in 7 days, if I can keep it at the right temperature, we'll have yeast. And if we have yeast, we'll see how it works out in a bread. Oh, yeah. My friend in India is going to bed now. We have a hard time talking because when I'm going to bed, he's waking up. And when he's waking up, oh, we get it all confused. When I wake up, he's sleeping. It's very hard to talk to him. So good night, Mickey, and have a good evening. And sleep well, as they say. Keep the boogeymans away and have good dreams. Amber, don't you eat all of that and bring it up. I am sorry this is taking so long. 22 minutes, and all you're doing is listen to me rattle. Okay, we're getting there. You notice I kept my finger in and didn't yell. Well, I'm going to get the towels out if nothing else. So I will wrap this up. I'm going to keep it very dark. I put it in a cabinet in the bathroom, but it didn't work. So we'll try this. So see, sometimes when I make things, I have to work at it too. I don't get it right the first time. This is my second shot at it. So as we move along, waiting and waiting and waiting for live yeast.
Be careful.
What happened? Chewy. Oh, thank God. You just saw them coming?
Yeah.
Thank you. That's what I've been looking for. It's my Chewy box. My cats decided to get real hungry and they wanted a lot of dry food, and I ran out of it, so I had to sit there and run and get it ordered 2 days ago. And they came in quickly, I'm glad. Because they don't sell it at the store for cats. They sell it for dog, Chewy. No, Blue Buffalo, but they don't sell it for cats. And that's what my cats like, so that's why I do it. Well, thank you, Mickey. That's very, very nice. I'll see. Maybe you can catch the afternoon. That'd be early morning for you. Sometimes you'll catch me at night finishing up, and that's about it. But anyway, I told you how to do it if you want to try to make this. I'm really getting there. That's why I'm stirring it. Listen, let me go open that box. I've got to get some dry food for them. Thank you. Let me get this over here. Don't want to knock it over. Actually, watching me work. I hate glue buffalo for this. Never tears right. No, they've been asking for this since yesterday, and I said, I am out. You guys ate it fast in a hurry. They've been eating canned food, but they were like, where's my dry food? Oh, come on, Blue Buffalo. Don't worry, that water's getting there. We're working on it. Now, I'm sure some of you might ask or think that I put stuff on my face or take something for it. What you see is health. I've been eating this way for a very long time. I try to always make sure that all the nutrients are there that we need when I cook. Body temperature. I shouldn't funk. Okay, here we go. Yeah, you can go ahead and bring some bubbles up. I'll be content with that. Okay, now we're going to shake this like crazy. That's what they want us to do. Now what you're going to do is loosen this lid up. That sugar is all dissolved and we've given it a good shake. Okay, make sure it's loose. You know, you don't want it real tight now. We just put it in a dark spot. And we'll see part 2 in 7 days, if it works. If it doesn't, well, I'll go back to the drawing board as usual. Because see, that was my thing. When I used to watch programs in history and stuff, I said, they didn't have to buy sugar. Well, they bought sugar, but I mean, they didn't make light and brown, dark brown sugar. They didn't make confectionery sugar, and they didn't have all these things. I knew how to make the sourdough culture. And I knew that they would use a lot of whole grains, all right? But how would they just make regular yeast? Because they might have used it at that time, and I was very curious about how they would do it. And because I know how to make my own light and brown and dark brown sugar, I know how to make confectionery sugar. I had to learn the different grains that what winter wheat is and spring wheat are, so you would know the difference. And then I learned how to make the different mixtures, so I could sit there and make my own all-purpose if I have to. That's why I always have a lot of sugar in the house, and I have bread flour, definitely, and cake flour, better known as spring wheat. So having these things, I'm able to play around and go in different directions. And then when I buy grains, if I want to make Ezekiel bread, which I do want to, but I have to buy some grains and stuff, I want to be able to make these recipes. So I have old cookbooks that state things. And when they say it, their instructions are like my grandmother's salting. When she went to preserve meat, she said, so many pounds of meat, salt. That was her recipe. And I've got some recipes that are one line just like that, and I have to read between all these lines to understand what they're doing like that. Like baking powder. A lot of people don't know that cream of tartar actually comes, it's a byproduct of winemaking that sits in the barrel. And that's why they use it. So a lot of these things we have today, but if you ever get put in a circumstance and you don't have the basics here, you're in deep trouble. So we always have to be on cue and know what we're doing. All right. So listen, I'm going to let all of you go. And in 7 days, we'll find out if we have yeast or not. I pray I do. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye.